Introductions. All right. So welcome everyone. My name is Andrea Tafoya and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator at UC Merced, KL 190. And I will pass it on to my colleague Burnett, who will present our guest speaker today.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for showing up today. And for those of you that are going to watch it in the future, we're glad to know of your interest. My name is Burnett Doty. I'm the director of the Community Engagement Center at UC Merced. And our goal is to find ways to connect you in our community that meet your passion and solve all our needs together. But I am really excited today to be able to introduce to you C. Lee from the Boys and Girls Club of Merced County. We've had a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club for years, and we've had some really wonderful experiences and programs. And I'm really excited to have C. Lee share with you some of these upcoming events that are happening in which you can each be a participant. So, C, it's all yours.
Thank you, everyone, and for inviting me to be here today with all of you. UC students, thank you so much for taking time to listen and learn about the Boys and Girls Club and what we do here at the club. I am sure that you're excited that you're almost at the end of your semester, so I'm sure you're crunching this time right now. So I wish you all of the best. Totally not envious. I remember those days and how excited I was just to make that last push, just kind of over the top. So congratulations to all of you for making it through this semester. For those of you that are potentially graduating and moving on, wishing you all of the best and much success. And for those of you that will be staying here, I'm really excited to provide an opportunity for us to be able to work together potentially. So as you may know, I am the CEO. My name is C. Lee. I'm the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club. I was raised here my entire life, and so I love the place, probably know it quite well, more than I want to. However, it's been growing quite drastically north. And so I'm starting to lose my way for sure, but the UC has been a special addition here in the Valley, especially for the city of Merced. So excited that you all are here. It's brought lots of talent, lots of diversity. And so I hope that we can draw upon those talents here at the Boys and Girls Club. Quick question, how many of you were a member of your local Boys and Girls Club back in the days? Anybody by the raise of hands? How many of you have heard of the Boys and Girls Club? Okay, one. Now, how many of you were part of a network or had a mentor that made a difference in your life? And I sure did too. And if it wasn't for all my mentors along the different path and different ways, I wouldn't be where I am today. So the Boys and Girls Club, our mission, oops, excuse me, just go back there and minimize my screen here. So our mission here at the Boys and Girls Club really is to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizen. We are a believer that a lot of the great futures will begin here. And the little photo to the right there is from our spring break camp. Our President's Week camp, where some of our YDP or program leader took a group of our young kids on a walking field trip to the zoo. That will be a glimpse of what potential staff, future staff will be doing with our young people. Our goal is to make sure that kids are safe and that we are building good character along the way, making sure that we're providing life-enhancing programs for our young people, and we'll delve into that in just a bit. Most importantly, what we want to be able to offer here is hope and opportunity for all of our young people, and that they're moving towards a great future. And the reason is because Merced County, we know that a lot of our young people do not always get out. And we want to be able to bring the world into our community, into the lives of our young people, to let them know that there's endless possibilities out there. And so one of the things that we love to do, and the most important thing that we have, are serving young people between the ages of 5 to 17. And those that lead our program are mostly college age students. And so right now, my whole team really consists of 8 college students, 4 from the UC, and an additional 4 or so from Merced College. I have 2 staff that are from Fresno State. And so it kind of shows you the dynamics of our organization, the makeup. I'm probably the most senior here, minus maybe just a couple of staff, but we have a young population that really provides the mentoring, the life skills training, the academic assistant, and making sure that these young people that we are serving has the skill sets to make healthy decisions in life. So those are a couple of the things that our YDP, what we call our youth development professionals, provide. You are program leader and you take them through the entire experience from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock on a regular basis. Our summer camps and recess camp usually operates from 7:30 to 5:30. And so it provides a plethora of opportunities for us to make a difference in their lives. In our programming, we do incorporate science, technology, engineering, and math. As some of you may know, Merced County, our reading and math levels could be better. And so one of the ways that we try to embed learning into our work is to make sure that if we are having fun, that we are being intentional in the way that we design it in such a way that is academically enriching in some way, right? Secretly putting that in there without them really feeling it through gaming, as you can see in those photos. We had a program here where we brought in a former UC Merced student that ran a tech program for us. And that's the photo on the left that you see there. And so the other photo up there is just kind of our hope is that we can create a more robust technology program where we can start getting in these kits and work with UC to create a dynamic do-it-yourself type STEM program. And so those are the things that also takes place here at the Boys and Girls Club. Most of our kids are getting at least 5 days of physical activity. As you know, among young people, the obesity rate has increased. And so what we try to do is, number one, not only address the obesity rate and making sure kids are making healthy choices, but really looking at how do we bring in the nutrition aspect of it and our food and incorporating math into it as well, right? Because if you can't read and you can't do math, you can't put a recipe together, and vice versa, being able to take those elements and put it together in such a way that makes sense. And those that lead this program, again, are our program leaders. We do have programs specifically for teens. What we've realized in the past is that, and what we've heard is that our programs are sometimes too young or too elementary for our older kids. And so what we've done is shifting our programming into what's called workforce readiness. So we take our young population, our adolescents, to high school through what we call the career launch, where they look at college exploration, try to identify what they want to do in life, and then how do they get there, and building that kind of a ladder for them. We complement their learning with service learning components as well as internship opportunities, because the best way to learn for some of our young people is by doing. It's one thing to be able to hear and see, but the feel and do is always more impactful and everlasting. And so we are building these components into our program as well. Currently, we have probably a handful of middle school age students, and we're looking to bring on about 10 to 20 high school students for the Merced site to help with the work readiness component, who will be serving as junior staff for us this summer. Our biggest need right now, we understand, is that when kids are out of school, whether it's after school or when there's breaks, parents are still working. And that's when the crime rate goes up. That's when um, kids get into trouble. And especially during the summer, there's learning loss that occurs. And so we have a mantra here at the club that when schools are out, the club is in. And the club, I didn't mention this earlier, was founded 20 years ago by a local couple who was really trying to find a positive place for their children to turn to. If it wasn't at home, they wanted an alternative place. And so the best fit was really the Boys and Girls Club, the structure that they had in place. And so we want to continue that for our students, is that when there is no other place to go, that there is this beacon of hope with the Boys and Girls Club where they can turn to. It's kind of like the home away from home. And so when schools are out, we are here. And we want to make sure that we provide a venue for families who are working, that they have a positive place for their kids and their child as well, while they're trying to earn a living. And so we do want to make sure that this place is positive, it is fun, it's healthy and educational. These are the pillars of the organization. All of our curriculum are embedded in those 5 core elements. We do have over a dozen of curriculums that are nationally recognized. We are a part of a national federation, the Boys and Girls Club of America, that has been around now for almost 100 years. And so originally it started as the Boys Club. And in the 1990s, they decided to adopt, thank goodness, and became more inclusive in allowing girls to partake in this membership. And so since then, it's been the Boys and Girls Club of America. Now, don't ask me why it's not girls and boys and why it is boys and girls. We can probably explore that later on, but we're just excited to see the inclusion of girls in this work as well. And originally, and it still is in my mind, and I'm probably entirely biased about that, but the Boys Club of America originally was a very prominent organization in communities back in the days, when families and communities were looking at providing skill sets and developing young men's skill sets, they sent them to the Boys Club. And so we continue that kind of trajectory here today in modern times, and embedded and adopted different ways of doing things, but really keeping those principles of equipping our young people with the skill sets they need to excel in life. So our summer camp, this is the big hoopla that we've realized, is that during the summer, we know that families are mostly still working, and a place for young people to go to be engaged and to really prevent learning loss. And so this year we will be launching our summer camp, actually beginning June 6th through July 29th for the Merced site. We have 4 sites that we will be hosting summer camp. We have the Merced site that will be serving Merced City School District students as well as Weaver School District students. We will be expanding our services to Gustine on the west side and Santa Nella. And our 4th location is going to be in Los Banos. If you have family and friends in this location, they can access our summer camp. The time frame is correct, from 7:30 to 5:30 for all locations. So that is this really special edition this year. We've previously had just the Merced, and in the last couple of years, Los Banos. So we're excited to be able to be working with our school district to bring this to more families in the county of Merced, because we are a county organization. With that said, because of our expansion, we are feverishly looking for folks to help build the confidence of our young people, inspire others, and help our community. We want our young people to respect themselves and each other, as well as make a difference. As you know, social media has really created a need for us to build character and confidence. And so we're looking at folks like you, who they idolize. And I say that because I see it. They think you guys are the coolest thing ever. To me, I'm like, okay, they call me mom. So I'm the club mom now. I'm like, I used to be the cool brother and sister, but now I'm club mom, and I'm like, I accept that. It's really cool. But it takes a community really to make this place work and for us to be able to serve the needs of our young people. And so we are looking for individuals, again, like yourself, to come work with us. The key things you will be doing is really facilitating activities, right? So if you're looking to build your facilitation skill set, your leadership skill, your communication skill, I will challenge you to come work with us, because it's not a cakewalk. People think that it's a daycare center, you just babysit. No, you are literally engaged in the young people's lives. You are facilitating activities, you are communicating with them about things that might come up in their lives, directing them to additional support services, providing instructional services, so teaching them how to create art projects, artwork, facilitating technology programs. How do you get into, this system and that system and the other? So it is really, if you're looking for something easy, this is definitely not it. It's a lot of different moving parts, working with young people to engage them. It's huge on planning, organizing, and facilitating. Those are the things that you can put on your resume. It is working with a team and making sure that you have a cohesive team on the same page moving forward, so that way we don't lose any kids along the way, and making sure that everybody is safe. And that is the most critical thing, is ensuring that all the young people in our care are safe while having fun. So if you're interested in knowing more about our program, or are interested in working with us, you can download an application on our website. It's www.bgcmerced.org. You're welcome to come in and complete an application here as well. We do have that. And attach your resume to it. So that gives us a little bit more depth as to your background, your experience, your hope. And we would be happy to review it and hopefully bring you on board to support our young folks. So with that, I would like to thank you for thinking of us and making a positive difference in a child. And if there's any questions, I'd be willing to open up to any questions that you may have.
I do have a question by any chance. And then I do want to ask, I know you mentioned that it's not a walk in the park, so I just kind of wanted to ask you, based on your experience, what's something that stood out to you that you didn't realize was going to be part of the job description?
For the YDP, I would say that one of the things that I've realized coming in is the additional resources that staff need in terms of recognizing behavior, right? And redirecting it in a positive way. So I know for myself, it's easier to say, hey, don't do that, but really being able to provide staff with the tools to say, I noticed that you're acting this way. Are you okay? And then redirecting it, can you help me here? Or can you help me with this? I think what happens is kids are tired by the time they get to our center. And so we can't do the regular day-to-day kind of programming, right? Where you just teach to them, lecture to them, and expect that they respond. It's really about how do we engage them in such a way that makes it playful and fun and really piques their interest, right? And I will tell you, if you stand there and you try to lecture to them, it's not going to happen. It's number one, getting to know them, getting to know each child, understanding their strengths, and everybody has their little thing, and you'll recognize it as you continue to work with them. But how do you mitigate it, right? So I know that when they start acting up, I pull them in and they facilitate the project with me, or they lead the conversation in their groups. I start having group leaders. And so that way they, those active ones are no longer being kind of like the clown in the classroom, but now their energy is being used to lead other and help others, which helps kind of classroom control as well, right? When you have 20 kids, it's like, oh my goodness, how do I do that? by looking at the strengths of the students in your classroom per se, you start recognizing that. So for me, it was a shocker because I came in thinking, oh, it's going to be like, let's just go do this. And it's like, oh no, because you have all sorts of personalities and you have to be able to recognize them and build on it, not reprimand them, but taking Johnny and, hey, Johnny, I noticed that you're doing this. Can you help with that? Or, hey, Kim, you're doing this. Can I have you provide this in X, Y, and Z? And that usually helps. Now, does that happen every single day? No. So you have to have a ton of tools in your back pocket to say, time to change up. I notice things changes on a day-to-day depending on what's going on. So being able to have those tools is helpful. And we've started to provide staff with those best practices. How do you recognize X, Y, and Z? And what we have is a daily huddle where your staff comes in and you talk about, common issues that's happened the day prior to, so then we can address it and not let it fester into something else. We make sure that we come up with some tips on how we can resolve those issues so we can mitigate any problems or continued behaviors.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I see that we have a question in the chat. That question is, are there any qualifications or preferences for this opportunity? Something you're looking into for a possible candidate?
Yes, so number one, so all staff, all candidates prospects will be going through an employment screening process. So you do have to pass a drug test, a background screening, which is through the DOJ, and then a TB test. So those are the three criteria, first and foremost. Secondly, what I'm looking for is availability. I would like a person to be able to commit for the 8 weeks as much as possible. I know that things come up and we can address that when it comes, but I do want to be able to have a commitment. And the reason is because these young people develops a relationship with certain staff. And so there's like this very natural connection. And when we bring in different people all the time, it creates a continual like chaos. And so they're always in transition. And of course, like us, right? I'm thinking to myself, I'm definitely going to test out that substitute, right? And so we do see that happen sometime as well. And so consistency helps with the structure. So I will love that. But the most important thing that I'm looking for in a candidate is leadership and communication, right? And the ability to be curious and wanting to be able to continue to grow and develop. I think like being hungry to do more, because it is a lot. We'll give you blueprints, we'll give you the resources, but I will guarantee you're going to have to know when to switch up the programming because kids are getting tired. On average, our kids are here 7.4 hours a day. That's a work day for our parents. And so we know that at the 4th hour, they're like checked out, right? And so it's like, how do you keep them moving along? And so that means, yep, we have this whole schedule here, but you have to be able to get crafty, switching things up or making it exciting for them. So that comes with leadership and being empowered to feel that, you can lead them into that engaging project, as well as communication, being able to have a conversation with them and make them feel safe and know that, there's someone here that cares for them and they're in a positive environment. I think those two things are the two key things that I see this staff brings to this work, is being able to direct, facilitate, and communicate. And not being afraid to be funny, right? And be your total self, right? I think I get so stale sometimes because it's like, oh, I lose my fun hat, right? And so it's like, we have staff that comes in, they're like the coolest thing, and they're like talking the, same language. And here I am all super filtered, but it makes them lively and the kids loves that. So just being you, just being all of you.
All right, I think those are all the questions. If students think of any other questions, see how can they ask those questions and reach out to you and your team?
So you can send general questions, and I'll type it into the box, to our general email box, which is Boys and Girls Club of Merced County at gmail.com. And I will get that because I see it almost every, I check it usually. If not, my administrative staff will take a look at it. Merced County. It really is, you know, I always say there's two ways to leave this place. You're really super exhausted and tired, or you're super exhausted and you have so much energy still, like I'm so excited about it. And so I leave here with that excitement, like, ooh, what can I do things? How can I do things differently tomorrow? So I hope that, you know, I know it's a lot, but I will tell you that there's so much opportunity in building your skill sets and working with young people, coming up with different program ideas and so forth that will really set you up, put you at a different place in your career. So thank you.
Thank you so much, C. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.